Hello guys and welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you're new here. I have previously made some videos on red flags in men or generally in the people that you date, and I realized that not everybody understands what certain things that I talked about even mean to begin with. So in this video I want to talk about love bombing and explain to you why love bombing is bad, why love bombing is never a compliment, why it's not a bad thing, why it's not something to look forward to or something to desire. Why is it most definitely not a green flag? And I really want to break down this topic. So let's get into it. All right, if I'm looking down, that means that I am checking my notes because I have plenty of notes this time because it's a pretty big topic. It's a heavy one. I did have to do some research because, listen, in my opinion, it's like once you understand the concept, once you understand why love bombing is bad, you stop looking for excuses to enjoy it or to want it. You stop idolizing that. Once you understand how bad it is and what are the intentions of people who do that, you stop wanting it. You stop thinking it's a good thing. So let's start with the definition. Okay, so love bombing is a form of manipulation where someone overwhelms you with excessive affection, with gifts, with attention, or whatever else in order to gain control and or a fast track emotional attachment. It very often masks unhealthy intentions and is practiced by people who most definitely don't have good intentions, such as narcissists, for example, people who have very serious ego wounds, all kinds of problems, which we will talk about today as well. And it can lead to emotional abuse after the idealization phase is over, which it will be. Yeah. Okay, so now let's talk about why love bombing is bad. If you're still thinking that, like, well, if someone is treating me so nicely, overwhelming me with attention, with the gifts, with, all of the good stuff, why would I ever want to run away from that? Why would I ever see that as a red flag if it feels so good, if it's so wonderful? Well, it is most definitely a red flag because once you understand the intention of people who do that, and once you understand how healthy relationships develop, then you understand. Then it becomes very clear. If your goal is to have a healthy relationship, then someone who is love bombing you is most definitely not the person for you. If your goal is just to have fun, get that bag, whatever it is, I'm not going to stop you, but you still need to be aware of why love bombing is dangerous in order not to get trapped, basically. And obviously, run away as soon as love bombing ends. Do not get emotionally attached to that person, right? That's just like a separate topic here if that's what you want. If you're here if you're here for, a good time, not a long time, so to say, do whatever you want, but still be very mindful and protect yourself, okay? But if what you want is a healthy relationship, let's get into why love bombing is bad. If you still need me to explain it to you. Okay, so love bombing creates false intimacy. Things develop way too quickly. Emotional, intimate things happen way too quickly. Things are supposed to take time to develop, Feelings are supposed to take time to develop. The person is supposed to take time to get to know you, to learn you, to understand the kind of person you are, what you like, what you don't like, to share themselves with you, information about them, so on and so forth, right? But things are happening too quickly, which is the definition of love bombing. Things are happening quickly. Someone is trying to overwhelm you. And your question should always be why. To be honest, you shouldn't be asking, you should just run away because the answer is never something good. But yes, the goal of the person who is love bombing you is to make the connection that you have feel deeper than it actually is. Love bombing clouds your judgment. The intensity of love bombing can make it really hard for you to notice red flags whilst you're being swept away and overwhelmed with emotions. But then But yet again, go watch my videos on red flags and learn how to spot those red flags early on, you know? And once you understand that, love bombing is a red flag, you're not going to be so easily manipulated into falling for someone really quickly, to forcing this connection, because the connection is being forced here, right? Through manipulation, of course, but still, it is going to make it much harder to walk away um, once you have fallen victim to love bombing if you're not aware and not mindful. Next point, love bombing builds dependency. So you may become dependable on the attention that you're getting, on those emotions that you're feeling, and you can become reliant on the attention that you're getting. And it might make it much harder for you to walk away later on, because once again, love bombing is building that false connection, and it makes it feel deeper than it is, because once again the goal is to overwhelm you. So the dangerous thing here is to get hooked, and it is going to make it harder for you to walk away later on. So do spot it early on as it happens. And this is where we are starting to talk about emotional abuse, because love bombing often leads to emotional abuse as the beginning of an abusive cycle. Love bombing can lead to control very easily. Once someone swept you off your feet, overwhelmed you with the love and attention, the love bomber may start using the other emotionally abusive techniques, such as isolating you, criticizing you, basically falling off the high of love bombing into the depth of criticizing you, making you feel really bad about yourself, trying to get back on the good side of the person. So the love bombing comes back. And instead of being isolated and criticized, you are being overwhelmed with the good attention once again. A dangerous thing about love bombing is that the person doing it can take it away, and they often do that sooner or later. And like I already said, people start isolating you, they start criticizing you, they start making you feel less than after putting you on a pedestal, which makes you want to get that back. It can lead to you feeling more confused than ever. It might lead to you feeling anxious and even depressed. It might obviously ultimately lead to really low self worth, and it can take time to learn to trust people again after becoming victim to such abuse. So please be extremely mindful. Like, it just makes me sick even like reading these notes, because this is really like this happens way too often to the girls. So please be mindful. Please don't let yourself be fooled and clouded, okay? So yes, basically, if we summarize all these points, love bombing leads to you falling for someone really quickly, forming this deep affection, forming this connection, forcing the connection way too quickly, I should say, and making it feel much deeper than it is, much more significant, much more meaningful. And after that, once you have attached to the person, once you have become dependent on that attention, on that love, once you have started associating your self-worth with that person, and with that person's attention and compliments and gifts, whatever else, right? They will start taking that away and putting you down, isolating you, criticizing you. Maybe the person will disappear for some time. I have heard that's, oh my gosh, that's like, uh that happens often, that after doing love bombing, people just disappear for a while, and while you're going completely crazy and you are left completely confused and anxious, that person disappears, and then they come back, and the cycle repeats once again. And it is a cycle, so please be extremely mindful of that. I will never stop repeating that, because that is literally just about your emotional health and your safety overall. um, don't wait for any other red flags. This is a red flag, okay? All right, listen, I also really wanted to know, because that's just the kind of person that I am. I wanted to know why people do that, because it's one thing to understand how it happens, and why it's harmful, how it can hurt you. I also wanted to know why people love bomb to begin with, because to me personally, it's quite obvious that love bombing is a manipulation, because when we manipulate someone, the goal is to take something indirectly. People who manipulate in general, in any scenario, are the people who cannot ask for something directly. They want to get something that they cannot ask for directly for whatever reason. So they try to find a way, an indirect way to get it. So they manipulate you. Manipulation is not always a bad thing, depends on the context, whatever. But in this specific context, it is harmful, 100%. Please don't wait for it to get bad. And let's just talk about some reasons why people may love bomb you to begin with. All right, so people can love bomb you to gain control quickly. Again, for whatever reasons. I also want to know why. I want to know more about the reasons, but why can someone, do something like this? People love bomb to gain control over you easily. That should be red flag on its own, obviously. I hope it's obvious, by the way. I hope you find it obvious. Because there can be multiple different reasons of why someone wants to control you and have such access to you and to your mind. Okay, to feel their own insecurity and ego needs. This one is obviously quite straightforward. I feel like it's an obvious one. If someone has deep insecurity issues, specific ego needs, they will want to overwhelm you, they will want to get access to you and gain the control of you. Please watch my videos on red flags once again, and please watch my video about why you should stay away from insecure people. This is exactly what I'm talking about. What I'm talking about, staying away from insecure people. These are the kinds of people that I'm talking about. People who will do things like this, people who will display such horrendous red flags when it will go beyond whatever, being jealous of you, right? When it will go beyond that and start becoming serious, when someone will want to gain control over you, to start abusing you, to get off of it, basically. That's sick. Okay. Fear of rejection and abandonment. Oh my God, yes. Oh, like I said, manipulation. When someone cannot clearly communicate with you, and clearly ask for something, clearly explain what it is that they want. They want a good relationship, they want to be loved, they want to feel seen, they want to feel secure. They will manipulate you. They will try to gain that other ways. Some people might want to gain control over you in order to feel loved. Sometimes it has nothing, a lot of the times it has nothing to do with you, right? It has to do with the needs of the person who is doing the love bombing. Is it parcel time again? Could be. So, yes, some people might want to overwhelm you in order to feel loved, in order to feel the void, and to overcompensate out of fear of rejection and fear of abandonment, which a lot of us have that. But some people go an extra mile and manipulate other people in order to not feel like this. And now I understand that I should make a video on green flags, because these things happen way too often, and it's way too common, and it's also way too romanticized. Because if you're thinking right now, like, "Oh, but maybe I can save him," no, you can't save him. Sit down. You can't save him. Block him. If you want to do it for the lore, go ahead and do it, but it might hurt you beyond repair. It's easier to stop now. Please don't. You absolutely cannot save him or her, doesn't matter. Love bombing, of course, is a manipulation tool, like I already said, and it can also be used by people who want to dominate you. Love bombing, basically, in this case, is a tool to manipulate you, to dominate you, to exploit you, to abuse you, to gaslight you, so on and so forth. Of course, love bombing is used by people who specifically want to hook you on it and uh, establish control in a cycle of abuse. But another point is that some people just lack healthy relationship skills. And it is like, you really need skills for a healthy relationship. You need to know what to look out for. I'll talk about that separately because it's a whole other video, if not 100 other videos. But sometimes people lack, a lot of the times people lack skills for a healthy relationship, and they think that that's what a healthy relationship is supposed to look like. They think it's romantic, and the people who are receiving this kind of attention often become victims because they think that this is romantic and because they think that this is really charming, or this is what it's supposed to look like. However, it's not. Even if the person love bombing you has no intentions of further abusing you and gaining control over you, if they think that this is what a relationship is supposed to look like, most likely they won't be able to keep it up forever. Most likely this will stop at some point anyway, and they will, show their real true colors to you. You want to date someone who is being real, someone who is secure, someone who's not afraid to be themselves, not afraid to show, what they really are like, and communicate. Communicate their needs, their desires, how they feel, ask you questions, so on and so forth. Make actual effort in order to get to know you, in order to help you get to know them. You know, love bombing is a red flag. Okay. Anyways, you guys, I really hope you found this video helpful. Thank you very much for watching it. If you have any other questions, please leave them in the comments down below. If you have any other topic suggestions, please leave them in the comments below once again. Please let me know what you think about this to begin with. If you have any other thoughts on this topic, do you have any experiences with love bombing? Maybe you were the one love bombing someone. How did that end? Anyways, let's talk in the comments. And once again, thank you very much for watching this video, and I will see you in the next one.